Welcome to another edition of Sean's View Entertainment on YouTube.com. Make sure to like this video and subscribe, as I am here to give my view of the latest trending now topics online. The following comes from UPI.com as well as Yahoo.com. What is trending now, the link to proof is in the description of this video. I'll tell you, the last couple of days have not been good for people who have wanted to go out, explore, go to the amusement park, go to the water park, Six Flags. It has been just such a dangerous, treacherous, and deadly game the last couple of days. First, a girl was thrown to her death from a Six Flags roller coaster in Texas. She said, or the people around her felt as if she wasn't secured in correctly, felt as if she wasn't buckled in properly. She said she heard a click, and the guy said that was working there, well, as long as you hear that click, you're good to go. But others said when you went on that ride, that roller coaster ride, which was one of the tallest, one of the biggest, one of the steepest, has 3 clicks. I'll tell you what, right now, if I was on that roller coaster, and like I said, my thoughts and prayers go to the family of this girl and this woman, and this should have never happened. This is just one of the most horrible tragedies you can think of, especially if you had to watch in horror as she was thrown from her seat to her death. One of the worst things you could ever see. But I'll tell you what, right now, if I were in that woman's shoes, if I were in her predicament, and in my opinion, maybe it was one of those things where it was just a lack of judgment, or you couldn't think of what you're going to do at that point in time, and you took the person's word. You took the guy's word, which you should, because you would think that the person working at Six Flags would know his place and he would know what he's talking about, but obviously he didn't. But if I heard that, well, is this supposed to have a few more clicks than this? Is this secure? Is this going to be good? If the guy came to me and said, oh, well, that was 1 click, you're good to go, and we're talking about the tallest, steepest roller coaster in Texas out of Six Flags, you can bet your last little dollar that I will get my butt off that roller coaster and I will see you later. But like I said, at that time, it was one of those things where, sometimes in this life, things are bound to happen. Roller coasters, just like airplanes, just like you're in a car, it's very unpredictable on what can transpire and what can happen. And then in Ohio, Cedar Point Park, one of the popular places to go for water rides, a boat rolled backwards down a hill and landed upside down in the water, and the Sandusky Register reported that on Friday. So, I mean, there's just been horrible tragedies at amusement parks, theme parks. It has not been a good time, and you know what? I'll tell you what. Right now, the reason I'm not only because I cover my view of trending now topics, I'm also doing this because I was at a Six Flags in 2002 in Agawam, Mass. The Superman Ride of Steel, then what it was known, the Superman Ride of Steel. And right before I got on that ride, all right, I was next to being in line. True story. And both the carts came together and crashed. They smashed together. Had I went on that ride just about 2 minutes before, I would have been involved in the same travesty. And this is a tragedy. I mean, I can't tell you how much I feel bad for this girl, this woman, her family, her kids. I mean, this is just a horrible travesty, something that should have never transpired. And you shouldn't have. You go to a thing. This was the girl's first time there. This was her first time there. What an experience you want to have. You don't want to leave dying. You don't want to leave in the back of a hearse. You want to leave with your family, your kids. There needs to be more precautions. There needs to be more safety checks. There needs to, like I said, there just needs to be more involved in these rides. And they say that they review them, they go over them, they make sure that they're good. But obviously they're not good enough, because there's these deaths occurring, and there's these injuries occurring. Now, like I said, I don't condone the actions of Six Flags. I mean, this is completely ridiculous. I hate to even come on here and have to report and give my view on something quite like this. But, the proper precautions have to be in there. They have to take this about another strategy, and, there just needs to be better judgment when you're talking about people's lives. It's hanging in the balance. I mean, you got to make sure that these rides are secure. You got to make sure they're good. You just can't have these people go on a ride. Oh, well, if they're already worried, if they're already thinking, oh, well, I don't think this is right. Something's not right here. Something's wrong. Something's not adding up. This ride doesn't seem like, the way it should be. It should be a different way. If you're already getting those ideas, if you're getting those feelings, and like I said, that was probably a spur-of-the-moment thing. She heard the guy say, if it clicks, it's fine. Obviously, it wasn't fine, and then she fell to her death, like I said. Just a tragic miscarriage of justice. Your comments and your opinions on these tragic deaths and injuries happening all this weekend. It's just been a bad weekend for amusement parks and theme parks and water parks. I certainly won't be going to any of them anytime soon, especially with all these tragedies. Subscribe.